Hello. So, I just woken up and I thought we'd do some triggers somehow. And excuse me. What should we begin with? Can we begin with this? How I'm gonna make triggers with this? I don't know. But this is it's a bit dusty. This is a model car, as you can see, of a Mercedes-Benz SL, and as this exact model is called is R129, and because of course SLs existed before and after this. But this, I don't know if this is gonna make good sounds. This car specifically, but we'll try. But this model car I received from my grandfather, and it's not the grandfather that I've mentioned before. It's not my grandfather who's from Hungary. Sorry, it's my mother's father, and I don't think you really make that distinction in English, but we do in Swedish. But I guess you can say maternal grandfather, maybe. Or I don't think you say that, but to specify. Anyway, so I received this from him after I had had a chat with my grandmother, that when she asked, since I was about to take my driver's license, she asked me, well, what car do you want to buy? And I promptly mentioned this one. Of course, that's a very ambitious answer. But my reasoning behind this is, my grandfather was a bicycle salesman. He owned a few shops around the country. So when he retired, he bought, just a few years before he retired, he bought this car. Well, the car, not the model. And then he bought the model with it, I guess. And when he heard that was my dream car, realistic dream car, because these cars has, I guess, depreciated a lot. So you could call this a very cheap car for what it is. I mean, there are cheaper cars, of course, but you could probably get this for, I don't know, $12,000 or whatever. And of course, as I said, that's not cheap by any means. But for a car that used to be, I don't know, arguably their flagship model, that's very cheap. So when I mentioned that to my grandfather, that this is, I don't know, a dream car of mine. Well, I mentioned it to my grandmother. She had spoken with my grandfather, and next time I visited, he had gathered around a bunch of stuff that he had gotten along with the vehicle, I guess, that he still had lying around. I received that, I guess, which was very nice. I don't think this is making any triggers. I think I'm just talking. I just want to show this. I mean, if I had all the money in the world, it'd probably be the first car I'd buy anyway, but I'm a car guy, so I have lots of other cars I don't aspire or dream of, aspire to own, I guess. But they're expensive. This is a realistic dream car. Although I would have mine in black, that's what I'd prefer. No, we can save the last one for later, for another time, because I did actually record 2 videos, which never made it up on the channel. where I spoke about the car, but that seemed a bit showy after all, so that's probably a good reason not to show it off anyway, even though it's not my car. This I got with the car, or the model car. I don't own the car, so it's a copy of the. I don't think you say receipt when it comes to buying a car. I think it's something more like a bill of sale, or I don't know. But whatever he received, the contract thingy that he received after purchasing his car back in '97, and then a picture he had taken of his car, which was red. And he doesn't own it anymore. He owned it for, I don't know, 3 years. Then he sold it and he bought a black Seal 500, which arguably at that time would have been their flagship. But of course, I'm just arguing against myself because the SL and the Seal overlapped. But they're both very top of the game. I don't know. Anyway, so I received this also. But I'm not going to talk about it much now. So the Seal that he currently owns is also, which he bought after this, is also a realistic dream car of mine because they have depreciated so much since their release. But I don't want to buy the same car that he has, because I want to have the exact same specs, because that's the one I think you should own. But I don't want to own it when he has it. It'd be more fun to be able to buy it when he doesn't want it anymore. But of course, I don't want to have it as a first car because that's a huge car. That's what you get when you've made it. Anyway, so I debated whether or not I'd show this or bring this. But it's funny. This is from a company called Mental Sleep, and this isn't sponsored. Well, they asked me if I would want to do some sort of partnership, and then they sent me the product, and I was allowed to test it, I guess, because I've never done anything like this before, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the product. So it seems as if we're going to go into some partnership, maybe. Nothing has been agreed upon yet, but it seems that way. But I just wanted to bring it up before I get paid to say anything, because I genuinely am very happy to have this product. So this is, well, I'm not getting paid to say this, so I don't have to be very specific, but this is their, I think they call it the Sound sleep mask. So they make sleep masks, sleeping products, which I've never used. I always thought I don't know how you'd use them, or I have never until now known how you'd use them, because I think you just look weird. But then again, who sees you when you're sleeping, unless you're of course sleeping with someone else. But I received this, and my current sleeping situation is, well, along with my not so existent sleeping schedule, is very bad, because I have a very, let's say, temporary sleeping arrangement, and I get in a lot of light as soon as, well, it gets light, which in Sweden is very early. And this has actually helped my sleep a lot. I think this is their more expensive option because it has Bluetooth speakers inside. So it's essentially a pair of headphones. Although, headphones are going to have better quality audio. You don't listen to this because you're an audiophile and you want to listen to the highest quality music. You listen to this because, well, you can sleep comfortably with music in your ears, or a smart or whatever. But as I said, I'm not getting paid to say this. I just want to make it clear that I generally enjoy this product. Yeah, and hopefully we get into some partnership in the future. But I just wanted to make it clear that if I get paid or not, I don't care how. It's a great product still. And there are cheaper options without the headphones. I mean, if I were walking into this blindly, I wouldn't buy the most expensive option. And I mean, the headphone system makes me sleep better. I guess you could just put in earphones inside and just have this upon. It'd be a bit uncomfortable, but I don't know. Probably work still. But the whole sleep mask thingy is what actually helped me a lot. And this seemed to be, I haven't been on the market looking, but this seems now to be the better option. Anyway, yes, I just want to say that in case I get into some partnership in the future, that it's actually something I thoroughly enjoy. Anyway, here we have a product I have never used. It's some sort of energy thing you put in your water, pill, I don't know. But it makes some good sounds, I think. I realize I think I've done, well, very few triggers for this being a trigger video, but I don't know, I'm sorry. Sorry. Also, I just wanted to make it clear, and I apologize for me being so slow at replying to comments. I feel as if I eventually replied to almost all the comments that, you know, there's an opening for me to reply upon. But it takes some time, because there's, well, so many, and I've got school, and I've got other projects on the side. So it takes me some time, because I don't want to, you know, there are these fast options that I see a comment and I can just click in, you know, what, I don't know, an AI or just the computer in general wants me to say, like, thank you, or whatever. But that seems very boring. But I generally read all the comments as they come in, but I want to save them for when I have time to actually write a reply, however long or short it may be. And I also don't want to like them and not reply to them at the same time, because then they get lost, and also it seems like I'm actually ignoring because I'm liking, but I'm not replying. So I've seen a ton of comments that on my last video that I will reply to because I want to. Some very long ones from people who tend to be in comments who I reply to and converse it with a lot, I don't know. And I will get to replying to you eventually. I'm not saving them because they're more boring or generally better. I'm just replying to what I have time to reply to when I'm sitting there replying, I guess. But I won't get around to replying to everything I can. Because I still have replies, comments from other videos, older videos that I haven't replied to either, I know. I woke up, I don't know, 25 minutes ago, and I'm drinking cider. It's alcohol free, or non-alcohol, whatever you say in English, but it's cider, which I shouldn't be drinking at this time of the day, because it's, I don't know, essentially soda, but I did. I guess we can bring in this too. We've seen this before. have some more fun. Let's take out this one. A very good album. Sorry. A very good album, in my opinion. This is not in the best shape, or best of shapes. No. Anyway, this isn't in the best condition, but it still sounds good, like the record itself. This is Love Letters from Elvis. Yes. By looking at the pictures and the sound of it, it had to be released in the early 70s, 71, 72. And on the back here it says 71. So we'll go with that. But this is a fantastic album, in my opinion. Because when it comes to Elvis, it's very common for people to tend to listen to, or people to, idolize the early parts of his career. Because that's when he sold the most, until his sudden death in 1977. Just to make that clear, he sold the most in the early part of his career, when he was the sensation, I guess. And then the 70s he still sold a lot, but it went up again when his sudden death came. But this, I think, is a fantastic album, because I like the slower, the ballads, the more lyric-based songs. Well, they're all based on lyrics, but where the lyrics are the main attraction, I guess. Even though he doesn't write his own lyrics, I think he performs the songs very well. I think on this album, my favorite is either Love Letters or When I'm Over You. But this all flows on very well. I think this is great because some of these songs he's recorded before. One of them I know is Love Letters. He recorded that in the 60s too, which was a great song then too. But re-recorded on this one, it all flows through very well together. It doesn't sound like the same song, because all of these songs are, I want to say, produced in the same way, similar influence at the same time. They're recorded close together in time, I guess. So it kind of sounds like a soundtrack more, because they flow together so well, which I find very, very interesting. Anyway, I don't know why we brought this up. I just picked a record which I found. Anyway, this is Love Letters from Elvis. I also want to make a comment before we quit, because I came up with the idea a few videos ago about this week's listen or whatever. I did not go through with that yet because I don't know why I didn't. It seemed like I listened to the same song throughout the whole summer, really, so it seemed kind of stupid. But if we want to go through with that sometime, I can do this week's listen and last week's listen for me, and say that The Last Farewell by Elvis is a great song. I don't own that album, so I can't show it. I haven't found it yet, but I think it's a great song. which I've been. I mean, it's not his best song, but I've been stuck on it now recently. That is "The Last Farewell," Elvis Presley. Of course, he did not write the song. It's not the original, but I think it's a great rendition. Anyway, thank you very much for joining in. But I'll see you next time. Thank you.